Full spoilers for 266, the leaks for Jujutsu Kaisen, the manga. What happened here was a whole range of emotions and a whole range of events that at first glance seemed to be very weird and very, let's say, nonsensical. And I do believe that a whole recount and summary of the chapter is necessary in order to do a analysis, in order to carry out an analysis of the chapter. So this chapter, all in all, goes through Yuji's emotions and Yuji's thinking and his line of thinking that relates to his grandfather being dead and the reasons that he had cancer and he chose to be euthanized. I did think that he actually died because of old age, and at the same time we see that in regards to Megumi and how he views having the will to live or not to live, and all in all, these themes are intervened and we will talk about that. But as to how the chapter progresses, we do see Sukuna and Yuji going at it, and we do also see that Yuji had a curse tool, and hours of theory making by the community is just gone down the drain because it's now a curse tool and doesn't have to see with Yuji's technique or anything. Until we get to the last page and Sukuna does have his curse technique back, he's going to do his domain thingy, and do remember this whole thing is happening in Yuji's domain. And here's the very weird and interesting thing. Yuji is missing 2 fingers, Sukuna senses one of his fingers that he shouldn't really be sensing them, and that's where the story ends, and the next chapter is going to be to have a big announcement and be the climax of the Shinjuku battle, and someone's going to die, or some people. So the first thing we have to discuss is Yuji's grandpa choosing to euthanize and not going through with treatment. It speaks volumes in Yuji's defense and Yuji's character as a whole and his character development that what we see here is that he, of course, wasn't happy with the choice that his grandfather made, and in the end it ends up making him being alone. We also can realize and see that Yuji was wondering, why is my grandfather choosing to go the euthanization route even though he could actually try and go for the treatment. And Yuji says that I didn't really understand that until I came to Jujutsu Kaisen and I had to be confronted with a whole range of issues and tragedies, and I realized that, hey, sometimes maybe you just don't want to leave and you can't really force anyone to leave. And I think this is the part that really clicks with Megumi and the reason that Megumi fights back against Sukuna. Look, here Yuji tells Megumi that I can't really tell you that, hey, you have to leave and stuff, because I do understand that we shouldn't really say that. If I want to summarize it, it's very selfish to ask someone to leave if they do not want to leave based on past experiences and events that have traumatized them. So he says, okay, I do comprehend that, I do understand that, and he can't tell him to leave, but it will be sad without him around. So he expresses his own emotions instead of telling someone that, hey, you have to leave, bro, you should leave. He says that, bro, I do understand your sadness, but do remember that if you are gone, I'll be sad. I do respect your decision, whatever they might be, and it should be, and it could be. But do remember that I will miss you. And that speaks volumes on what Gege has done as a writer here, that doesn't really go into all the cliches of, bro, you have to leave because living is blah blah blah. He just says that there are many negative emotions, many traumatic experiences. So if you do decide to not want to leave and you have lost the will to leave, it's okay. It's sad and it's okay and it's your decision, but do remember that without you I will be lonely and I will be sad. It does speak kind of a manipulation city and stuff, but it's actually okay. He doesn't really force him to do anything. He's just saying, do remember this and do remember what is happening here. And that goes to the whole situation of Sukuna also declaring that the 10 shadows and the Mahoraga are actually dead at this point and useless. The other thing we have to discuss, and it's pretty important, is the fact that in this chapter we finally get to see that, hey, we were fooled and Yuji has lost 2 of his fingers. I do remind you, one of the fingers, that the pinky one, I think, Sukuna took that and made Megumi eat that so he could switch bodies. But the other one, the finger close to the, I think that's a ring finger, we never saw what happened with that. The ring finger was there, but now we see that it's not there anymore. And Sukuna, when he regains his curse technique, he is fucking surprised to see that, hey, I feel my finger. He shouldn't be feeling any finger right now. A quick reminder, we are in Yuji's domain. The whole thing is happening there, and it does seem that the finger should have been in Rikka, pun intended. But what happened here, obviously, was that a masterful play and plot by Jujutsu High people and the Yuta and people and co, that they also had a plan for Sukuna, and Yuji was aware of, as we can see. Probably Yuji has the finger, it is sealed inside him, and what happened with Rikka, the reason Rikka had that ability, the cleave ability, the Sukuna ability, was that also Yuji had that ability, and Rikka actually ate off Yuji's finger in order to be able to do what he did here. So one finger is missing because of Sukuna, the other because of Rikka. And that goes to show us that Yuta misled Sukuna as to believing that his last finger was eaten by Rikka. In contrast, that it was actually not there and it was with Yuji in Yuji's domain. And it does seem that Yuji is going to probably seal Sukuna and seal himself and probably kill himself and just get over it, and that's it. We don't know what Yuji's domain does, we don't understand what it is, and we do know it must be powerful enough to make Yuji threaten Sukuna the way that he did. So basically, it's game over for Sukuna, as we can see here, except if it just suddenly and conveniently brings up another technique from the Heian era that he never used until this point, and Gege forgot to explain about that. All in all, great chapter. I will wait for the official stuff to come out and do another probably video or stream on it. Do share the video if you did like it, and as we say in Farsi, Shabatum Bkhair, Thank you very much for watching.